Hey guys, today I felt like I should do a video sort of dedicated to my friends in the group who are going through this process as a result of CRPS. And whether it's contained to one extremity, two extremities, or has spread throughout your body, this is a disease or condition that everyone I have talked to, including, well, I haven't talked to myself, but I would certainly agree with the statement, I would never wish this pain on anyone else. My pain started after I had shattered my left heel and I had had my first 2 of 4 surgeries. I had begun to notice my foot turning black, which now I know is one of the hallmarks of CRPS. During my recovery from my 3rd surgery, I really noticed this spike in my pain that I now know were CRPS flares. It felt like, and there is no exaggerating, and I don't expect anyone to even fathom what it feels like unless you've felt it, but it felt as though I was being skinned and burned and stabbed alive all at the same time. And it was relentless, and I would be screaming for hours and days on end, and no amount of, hugs from mom or pain medication or, puppy snuggles would do anything to touch it. We reached one point where even a neighbor called and said, "Is your daughter okay? I hear her screaming." And my mom said, "We don't know what's going on, but there's something not right." And so I recovered from that surgery, and things sort of quieted down a little bit. And then I had my massive reconstructive foot surgery last May. And that is when, excuse my French, but all hell broke loose in terms of the CRPS. I would go weeks at a time where I literally could not move because my leg from the knee down hurt so bad. My mom would try lifting my leg, repositioning my leg, but just her touching the boot, like the walking boot I was in, I'd be screaming. And if I tried to stand up, the pain was so intense that I would just automatically pass out. It was not going away. And so I reached a point where I was at a stage in my recovery from that surgery where I should have been doing better in terms of pain. But instead, I was having these periods of, basically being incapacitated, and something wasn't right. And I'm so thankful to my foot surgeon. This was my 3rd foot surgeon who finally put my foot back together, right? And he was the first one who said, "Hey, I think we need some help on board here." And so I was sent to a pain management doctor, and this is my first taste of the pain management world. And in a lot of cases, it's not a pretty world. It really is not. His thing was, let's try sympathetic nerve blocks, and if those don't work, then we will try possibly a spinal cord stimulator. I ended up not getting along with the staff at all. I had my first sympathetic nerve block in the middle of October. I was not properly sedated, and he actually hit a wrong nerve. So I literally screamed until I blacked out from the pain, and this gave me no relief. And 2 weeks later, I went back for another nerve block. Thankfully, he, didn't hit a wrong nerve, but still the procedure was incredibly painful. and left me with no relief whatsoever. And 48 hours later, my life was changed forever. I woke up, it was a Friday morning, and I felt like I had the flu, and I had a temperature, and I never have a temperature. I'm skinny. My temperature is usually maybe 98, and we ended up taking me to urgent care to see, do I have the flu? Because especially my legs going upward, the pain was just like unreal. And so at urgent care, they ruled out strep, they ruled out the flu, they ruled out everything. And so we called my pain management doctor. By now it was, I guess, 7 o'clock at night. My fever was rising despite Tylenol. And once it hit 103, they said, rush her to Hershey now. And so I was too weak to really even lift my head at that point. So a neighbor came from across the street and carried me into the car. We made the hours-long drive up to Hershey Med. Upon entering the facility, I was rolled in a wheelchair. My body crashed. My pulse went down to like 40 something, and my body just checked out. It said, like, I'm done. And so they rushed me to resus and did all they had to do to make me stable. And that became my home for the next 10 days. And during those days, I would have flare after flare after flare after flare. And it was no longer just from my left knee down. It was my whole right leg. It was my back. It was everywhere. And they were putting in sometimes over 200 milligrams of oxy a day. On top of that, even more stuff. Anything to take the edge off. But nothing was helping. And we realized that my CRPS had spread from my foot to my entire body from that injection point down. After 10 days, they were going to send me I guess I was 27, 28 at the time, to a nursing home because I was so weak. But I did go to a rehab for 3 weeks where, I know I've said before, I did not have a very good experience. And I can't say whether or not that impacted what my outcome was. Came home and basically slept for a week because I had been so over-medicated. The hard part about CRPS is that no matter how much pain medication you take, nothing's ever enough. It's almost like the only thing you can do is get your mind to detach from it because the pain is just always there. And it's like a sleeping giant. Like, you can go a few weeks being good or something like that, then all of a sudden, bam. Like, I know with the medical procedures I've had done lately, the injections in my left foot, and then the sprint device in my left leg, boy, did it feel like my leg was set on fire. Boy, did it feel like I was being stabbed. And I was in tears because I was like, I'm seeing this pain management doctor, and these people are supposed to be helping me. They're supposed to be managing my pain, not making it worse. I'm incredibly grateful that my spinal cord stimulator has done such a fantastic job. I do not take for granted a single second the fact that it does work for me, because I know a lot of people it does not work for, and it breaks my heart when this is seen as sort of your last ditch effort, and to have that last ditch effort be a failure, like, seriously, kudos to you. I couldn't do it. I'm struggling, just waiting for this whole DRG thing to go through. But so my life is still sort of dictated by CRPS. Still can't walk because of this foot. I have a very hard time with showering or with any changes in temperature. If my foot is left down, it turns a pretty shade of navy blue. And I literally have 2 winter socks and a walking boot on my left foot because it is so sensitive to anything touching it. And so I just wanted to sort of share my story. I know everyone who has CRPS has a different story, and I so wish I didn't know this acronym. I so wish I didn't know this pain. And I so wish I didn't have to be in a group where so many other people are suffering. It's, like they say, life's not fair. But we're all in this position for God knows what reason. And I'm hoping, even if telling my story or, showing you that you are seriously not alone, and that you can live with this condition. I mean, life's never going to be the same. I was told that right off the bat. Life is never going to be the same. You have something whose nickname is the suicide disease. And, I understand why. Because sometimes the pain is just so bad. But I just pray every day that one day we'll all find relief. I'm hoping the DRG takes care of the rest of my CRPS pain. But if not, I just have to continue the life of a CRPS warrior, as they call us, And so, I guess that's sort of like my CRPS story. I really hope you didn't find it entertaining, but I hope it just makes you feel like you're not alone.